One of them says that you cannot send flowers to the patient because maybe the patient would think that he was cured because of the flowers and not the will of God. This is what will happen to us if we leave ourselves to this cadre of people. But we leave ourselves to the values, to the religion. But we don't. I heard the other side of the table saying, but they don't want to admit. They are saying exactly what I was saying. They didn't say one new word. And I don't get scared of people because they were very senior. And another fatwa that you will not believe it. Women should not handle the internet without a muhrim. Because, and this is...
That's a Guardian, is it?
This is exactly the phrasing. Because they said, بسبب سوء طوية المرأة. It's a given. سوء طوية المرأة. It is amazing. Because I always said in my books, we ask women to hide, which is good, but we don't ask the fox to behave well.
You wanted to come back on that.
You're looking at extreme cases of clergymen in Saudi Arabia, but it's not the case in all over the world. You do find clergymen who are understandable, who can work together in coalition with the government. And I do not see any problem with that, because
Me too.
I believe that everything in certain amounts will result in the ideal society that we're trying to work towards.
I don't want him only to be the legislator. I don't want him to be al-musharra'. Yeah? If you ask me, does he have the right to express his views? Of course. Everybody does. But I don't want him to be the legislator. I want the legislator not to be everybody. And this is what you're saying, Mr. Mahathir, that you were, because you were selecting. You said, I was taking what I used to believe to be the best, so you were selecting. And that's what we are saying, that they are a component of the society, but they are not the legislator, and I don't want to see them as the legislator.
Dr. Ibrahim, final question, and then we're going to take a vote.
To Laith, Shubeilat. Laith. Yes, of course, there is mosques that are very enlightened. There are imams who are not very enlightened. The question is, how do we choose? Again, the choice here is a question of people's opinion of what they hear. So ultimately, you will have to be democratic, and you are democratic, Ya Laith, and that is why you judge it for yourself what your understanding of Islam is. Now, where is the enlightened mosque in any of the Arab countries that you consider to be a model? Is it in Afghanistan? Is it in Iran? Is it in Sudan? Is it in Saudi Arabia? We want a model of what you consider to be enlightened mosque to bring this discussion to some concrete.
All right, can we
examples.
let him answer?
Again, we are striving to achieve something. It is not necessary to have that model now, especially that autocratic rule is everywhere. To start with, I don't like the hypocrisy of discussing an issue where the defender is not there and be so courageous before discussing other issues whose defense is right next behind that door. Before opening religion, clergy, whatever it is, if we are courageous enough to sit here and discuss our rulers, autocracy, and call a spade, and in the new age, if I gave you an example 800 years ago, I didn't want to mention, I told my ruler a piece of my mind representing the people, and I paid for it. So before doing that, having the courage of discussing Mudir al-Mukhabarat, the head of the security, so courageously, then after that I accept from anyone who has this courage to open up the subject of religion and criticize. But to be a coward in standing up against tyrants, and now that because this is allowed, so to start opening this subject and moving the title, Dr. Saadin criticized the statement. Now, Tarek is using as if we are defending clergy. You put mosque and state. By mosque, we understood religion. Now, that's why his statement is close to ours. We did not defend clergy, especially not the clergy appointed by rulers to hail them, but clergy who were like the professors of the universities, you see, where they get voted by their peers, who advance in knowledge and get the vote by their peers and the respect of the people. That is an enlightened mosque. From where do you want me to get an enlightened mosque? From Saudi Arabia, that it has been pampered, and everybody was pampering it. They knew that they had the most backward clergy who never told the ruler a piece of their mind. And you want now to hold me here to defend those clergy who accept all these atrocities and all this, all what's happening, all the injustices happening. You want me now as a Muslim to defend them? So certainly I will not. I join forces with you indicting them and saying that they are, all of us who do not stand up for the tyrant are the prime culprits in our societies, because a ruler does not become a tyrant except when he has people like us shutting up and not telling him what he should do and what he should not.
I knew we would end this discussion on a quiet, non-controversial note. Thank you very much indeed. It's time to vote. The motion that this House believes in the separation of mosque and state. If you support that motion, please raise your hands and keep them up there long enough for us to be able to count them. If you just keep them there, we are busy counting you. And those against the motion, please. The motion has been carried. I want to thank all our panelists very much, our distinguished panelists for taking part. I want to thank the Qatar Foundation for hosting us and our superb technical team who drove a 6-ton lorry across the desert for several days to be with us. Thank you so much for doing your work. Thank you for being here. We will be back in January. Thank you very much indeed.